Okay, good afternoon. It's time for another episode of AI Heroes. I'm here with Thor, the CEO and founder of Stravito. We're at Cannes Insight Lions, and welcome to the show, Thor.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Just a quick introduction. Tell everybody about yourself and Stravito and what you guys do.
Definitely. So Stravito is a AI-powered knowledge management solution, effectively serving, very much focused on usage, storage, and delivery of insights to inform decision making at very large organizations. I'm one of the founders. We're four founders, and yeah,
Fantastic, fantastic. And first time in Cannes?
first time at the Insights Lighthouse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my first time as well, and just incredible to see what's going on with everything in here. So let's dive in. All right. So the topics for today is about embracing the unexpected, kind of challenging traditional thinking, exploring unconventional approaches. Obviously, we've both run startups before. Certainly, embracing the unexpected is par for the course. But tell me a little bit about how you kind of deal with that at Stravito and how you think about, kind of the unexpected challenges that come up when running a startup business.
I think it's a great question, and I think the way I tend to look at it is we're blessed, right? I mean, there are not that many transformative technology events that most people get to experience, and there's been a few in the past years, going from mainframes to PCs and PCs to the internet to software as a service, and then now generative AI. I think it's one of those, and I see it as a moment of opportunity. It's really transformational. So to tie to your questions, I think it's as organizations, we need to start thinking about how can we effectively prepare ourselves for the future, which is what you kindly, Dave, described as what entrepreneurs need to have is a good understanding of feeling comfortable in a world of uncertainty is something that needs to be an organizational skill set. It's something we all need to embrace at all levels of the organization. We need to start thinking that way. Whereas before it was sufficient for the entrepreneurs of the world to have that. I don't think that's true any longer.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a skill that you're seeing more broadly adopted, and I think we're at an inflection point, really. Like, many of the technology step changes you've mentioned took many years to come about. Now, every week there's just breakthroughs in kind of AI and how that's delivered. I guess thinking about kind of where we're headed and the role of AI. How do you think about kind of the combination of where AI is taking us, and then also that kind of the importance of human insights and the combination of the two?
It's such a good question and an incredibly important topic, especially as I think everybody's talking about AI and how to use it. I think we're not talking so much about how to adapt ourselves, how to adapt organizations to AI so we can use it.
Yeah.
So I think, going back to, the way I remember your question is like, how should we be thinking about the role of humans in this world of AI? And I think that we need more now than ever to become proficient in doubling down on our skill sets, which is really, we are the ones that will orchestrate these AIs, and whether they become co-workers or they simply remain as what people call agents, doesn't really matter. It's just at the end of the day is we need to be much clearer and crisper in what we want. And I think anyone who's had, be it 1 minute or 1 day limited experience with AI, knows what that prompting is about articulating what you want. And suddenly you need to be much crisper there.
Yeah.
And it's so if we kind of zoom out, the same is true for organizational design. We need to be much more deliberate.
Yeah, I think that clarity of thought is absolutely right. But I think what AI enables is that it frees up more time for that critical thinking to get your thoughts in order, to think about the broader picture, rather than, I think, insights as a function has often been buried and dug down in the doing of the work. And really, if we're going to elevate the function, and we talk about that seat at the table and having more strategic input, I think AI is hugely revolutionary for our space and for our change, for what we're trying to change. When you think about kind of the future and kind of collaboration, where do you see kind of future heading of that collaboration, both between kind of broader insights teams and the broader business, and then insights actually more collaborating? Obviously, one of the things that Stravito do is you're pulling together data that is historically siloed, and a big part of this is kind of being able to not. There's so many researchers, we'll run another project where that data exists and things like that. So I'd love to hear a bit more about how you're thinking about what collaboration looks like from the future. What is the co-pilot? What is helping you through the journey and making it more efficient?
I think you're raising an incredibly important question, and I think at Stravito, what we've been doing for the past 8 years is we've helped large organizations on the Fortune 500, Fortune 2000 list to effectively have some level of infrastructure for how to manage their knowledge, to ensure that there are no silos, and that information that is needed actually becomes widely distributed and accessible. I think that infrastructure is even more important now than before the age of generative AI.
Sure.
Because technology is what do you tie to? At the end of the day, everybody will tell you generative AI is only as good as the data it feeds off. So what data does it feed off? So I think that's kind of where Stravito comes in. And we have realized that in reality, knowledge is something that is, probably it's in many cases sits in people's heads. There's a lot of organizational information that you need to gather, and we work with humans to identify that and to effectively help you get the right rollouts. You can get the right infrastructure in place. Now, where we think the future has so many promises and it's excited is very much what you talked about before, Dave, which is we can free up so much time, and we are already seeing it looking at usage data from our generative AI tool assistant. We see that people are now getting some of their work done in Stravito Assistant. And that's such a, I would say, inspirational fact, because we're seeing that it's no longer a promise, it's becoming a reality.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to that infrastructure and really spending enough time on the important, necessary groundwork that you need to have in place before you start jumping into the amazing landscape of opportunity and promise that generative AI has to offer.
For sure, 100%. But I guess thinking about that and thinking about kind of where you guys are heading. Obviously, you've already embedded Gen AI into the product. People are using it. What if you can share? Are you kind of most excited about where you're hoping to be in 12, 18 months? What does that look like as models start to improve, people get more comfortable with these tools?
Yeah, no, I think so. What we're really excited about is the work that is happening in our own innovation lab, our own Stravito labs. And we have a certain set of things that are due to come out very shortly that are effectively building on those Gen AI capabilities that further enhance our ability to offload, to some degree, grunt work from people,
Yep.
but to a large degree also help people inform decision making and make sure that the whole thing of having an impact, actually insights-led decisions at like scale,
Yep.
actually becomes a reality. So it's tooling, it's a lot of exciting. Don't want to pre-announce anything that we haven't announced, but like exciting stuff.
There you go, guys. Well, I tried to get a genuine world first out of Thor, but he is tight like a vice with what's coming on the Stravito roadmap. But knowing the company, I'm sure it will be super exciting. Just to wrap up, Thor, you're working with a lot of Insights leaders as they're kind of building out their technology stack. They're thinking about what are the tools that they need. I spoke to a lot of people today who are in kind of still maybe in the piloting phase and trying to figure out what does that stack of the future. What, I guess, advice or what experience are you seeing with Insights leaders when they're thinking about a more holistic view to, obviously, ResTech, the category, there's so many tools, so many things they could be using. How are you seeing the top players in the space kind of really think about the component parts?
Yeah, no, I think it's a brilliant question. I'll land 3 pieces of advice. I think the first one is make sure you have the right infrastructure in place. Don't forget that. All the exciting stuff feeds off of your infrastructure. Where is your data? All the stuff you want to use. Second of all, I would say now is really the time. We've talked about democratizing insights forever. I think we're past that. I think most organizations have solved for that. Now is really your chance as an insights leader to actually make insights matter and influence decision making more than ever. So you really need to seize that opportunity. And thirdly,
And that final thought.
Yeah, no, I think the final thought is just like we talk about generative AI and it's amazing technology and we need to know how to use it. But we also need to think about how we architect our organizations and we make sure that we truly understand what are the strengths of generative AI and only ask it to do that. I mean, generative AI is not computing as we knew it. It's something different. It's something that has a different set of skills. And we need to, one, understand what those skills are and play to those strengths. And two, think about how we structure our roles, how we write our job descriptions to effectively become set up for success. So those would be the three pieces of advice.
Fantastic, great feedback there. If you want to learn a little bit more about Stravito, check out the website stravito.com and connect with Thor on LinkedIn. And Thor, thanks for being a guest. Enjoy the rest of the Cannes Lions.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.